Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another Teach Kelvin Your Things session. In this session, I'm going to be learning Platformatic DB from Matteo. So let's meet Matteo. How you doing, Matteo?
Hi, Calvin. Very good, actually. Well, a little bit. I have a little bit of a cold, but
Oh,
hopefully, I would do. I would do today.
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, things are great.
Mm-hmm.
We are very progressing very quickly on this new set of products that we are building at Platformatic. So
Mm.
I'm very, very excited.
Awesome, awesome. So I think that's a good segue to you introducing to us, Matteo Collina, like who you are, what you've been doing, what you currently
Ah,
do.
okay.
Yeah, let's go for that note.
Yeah. So, what do I do? Who I am, or whatever. I have been developing software for 30 years. This is, makes no sense by talking, saying it loud. So, but yeah, I've been developing software for 30 years. So, and for since when Node.js came out, I immediately saw the potential of the platform, and I jumped into it. And I have been developing Node.js ever since. Since 2015, I have been part of the Node.js has been a Node.js collaborator. Then I became part of the Node.js technical steering committee, and now I'm still on the Node.js technical steering committee. In the meanwhile, I also created a new a new web framework for Node called Fastify. It's very good for developing APIs and kind of a replacement for Express. And and on top of that, I have more or less 12 billion downloads per year on npm, which this probably means then my name is appears multiple times on your hard disk at any given time. So you're using your computer has some of my software in there.
Oh,
So which is a little bit scary, but also feels great. I have a newsletter, so you can follow my adventures at adventures.nodeland.dev.
mhm.
And so you can stay tuned, stay in sync with all the new releases and things that I'm going to do.
Wow. Wow. That 12 billion downloads, you say?
Yeah, 12 billion. Yeah,
Oh
downloads on
my
npm.
God.
I'm not getting enough money out of it. Like I always say, look, can I have 1 microcent for each? I will be very, it's
Yeah.
1 microcent. It's
You,
going to be
yeah, for making stuff so useful that 12 billion folks get to download it, whatever the
yeah.
interval, you deserve all the money for that, really. You've been doing
Thank you.
awesome work, really.
Yeah, it's been a long it's being a long time. So
Hmm.
yeah, 12 billion downloads per year. Probably
Mm.
they have grown. Like I haven't checked in a bit. Like the overall the usage of npm is growing,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a never-ending growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I presume that I they will be growing still.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I have more or less, I think something like 5 million, 500 packages
Mm-hmm.
on npm. So there are
Wow.
other authors. I'm one of those few uh, high profile authors on the npm platform,
Yeah.
essentially.
Awesome. Like that's amazing. Definitely. So I know Fastify, of course, because I'm the Node ecosystem. I'm even doing some research on it, like you've seen yesterday for my Twitter questions and all that. Great, great framework. I really love the philosophy behind it, and it's amazing. And also, I've been hearing all about platformatic. But before we get to platformatic DB, really, I want to go back in time a little bit. Was
Yeah.
Node.js or JavaScript your very first language? I doubt that is, since you've been doing this for 30 years.
Oh, I don't remember what was my first language in reality, because
Mhm.
I developed some, like it was uh, um, I started developing software when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and I had an Amiga. I don't know if you ever heard about Amiga 600.
Yes, heard of it.
And my dad gifted. My dad bought this. Uh, Programming language for kid, and I coded something like that was very close to Asteroid
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, games like that. Okay, so, it will probably very similar to Basic. Then
Okay.
I've done a little bit of Basic when I was a kid. Then I have learned C, of course, very quickly. Then do some Bash scripting. Then a lot of PHP. I'm sorry, PHP
Mm-hmm.
3.
Mm-hmm.
That was not great. Not a
Okay.
great language. I've
Mm-hmm.
done some HTML, CSS, JavaScript back when, I remember I was building stuff for the web
Mm-hmm.
when Dreamweaver was popular.
Mm-hmm.
The CSS was introduced to the language, to
Mm-hmm.
the platform. Okay,
Okay.
I was publishing HTML before CSS was born. Like, this is,
Wow.
um, it's on GeoCities, and I'm part of that weird generation of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then Java, .NET,
Mm-hmm.
Ruby, Python,
Oh, everything.
yeah, uh, yeah, like
Yeah.
C++. I
Uh-huh.
don't know, like I have.
Every you've touched almost all the languages, I must say. At this point, you're the OG programmer. Like, that's just amazing. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
so
I just read,
mhm,
look, to be honest, I just read code. Okay, like, it's all those
mm,
programming languages are not really different from each other. Once you learn a few of them, it's just the same.
yeah.
Like, they have different concept, different things, but um, most after a bit, it's the way you need
Mm-hmm,
to understand how you structure the code in each one of them, and this
yeah.
is hard. But
Mm-hmm,
once you crack that, you need to, if you're developing Ruby, you need to structure your code in a certain way. If
mm-hmm,
you're developing JavaScript, you need to do another, or C, or after that is it's just syntax, and you can Google up the syntax.
yeah.
So it's
I think that's true because in my experience, if you learn a language, you know one language, it's very easy to reuse the knowledge of that language to learn another language. So maybe, for
yeah.
example, I've never done Swift before, but if I see a Swift code because I know JavaScript, I would know.
Oh,
Okay,
I've
okay.
done Objective C too. Okay, I've
Oh
done
wow,
Objective C. I've done that.
yeah, you've done.
That I forgot.
Yeah,
That one I forgot.
I think I've seen Objective C code, but I sort of like Swift better because it's more easier for me to pass. So I think I was lucky to not have to do
Oh, I did. I
Objective
did a
C.
mobile app
Mm-hmm.
for. I did mobile apps for iOS
Mm.
before Swift existed,
Wow.
and before it had Arc, which means that you needed to do manual memory management just
Oh my
to
god.
to to put. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I feel old. You make me
no,
feel
no,
old,
no, do
Kelvin.
not, do not. It's
I'm just
amazing. Do not feel old. Like you've had these experiences all these years, and it's just so much to like that you've done, and it feels really, really good. I am impressed. I am amazed. I love it. I love what you've done. So yeah. So that aside, let's talk about why we're here today, which is platformatic and platformatic DB. So I'm going to start from this angle. Why platformatic first? Because I know it's a company, yeah.
yeah.
And why now? Why are you doing this now? Because I know you've been doing other stuff before now. And what was the motivation behind platformatic and platformatic DB? So like backstory.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so there are a couple of good. So I have various different motivations
Mm-hmm.
for doing platformatic.
Yeah, okay.
So I the first to give you an answer to that question is completely unrelated. Okay,
Okay.
the
Sure.
answer
Go
to
for it.
why now and why platformatic is, after I have finished my PhD,
Mm-hmm.
I uh, I had some business ideas and stuff that did not become concrete on a startup. for various reasons. I don't want to open that, but I would. But I was very much, I always kept a big regret or something of
Mm-hmm.
not, it was also been on my mind. Oh, I want to start my own company. Okay,
Okay.
I have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, as I say, or
Mm-hmm.
I am crazy enough to want to start a company.
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
It's there's a group of people that have that gene, and apparently I have that gene or something. So anyway,
Okay.
uh, so Calvin, you were asking me
Mm-hmm.
if why now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why now?
and as I said, platformatic. So as I said, I kept having this dream of starting my own company, and then in but I was extremely happy about my work at Nearform because I was able to do a lot of open source.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to do almost all the things that I wanted, to be honest. So I was very happy there. And it's been such a huge pleasure. I've been there for 8.5 years. However, unfortunately, well, this is a story in three act almost. At the in mid 2019, my father died, and then these had a huge impact on me. Okay,
Mm.
um, then in at the end of 2020, I became a father,
Oh.
and this even had even more impact
Mm-hmm.
on me. And between those two events, I think I am to some extent a different person than what I was before,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me quite a long time to reconcile um, my goal now versus my goal versus who I was and what I was doing.
Yeah.
And the result was that um, I decided to start a company, and I decided that I will not leave. I would leave to minimize my regrets.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be one of the uh, uh, biggest decision making factors
Mm-hmm.
for entrepreneur or something. But this is, I decided. Look, I'll. Well, minimizing regrets has become my mantra. So I don't. I'm doing things, and if I think I will regret doing them, I um that's more or less my decision. So
Yeah.
if an opportunity is interesting enough, I will jump on it. If I otherwise, I will regret it or something. So yeah.
Nice.
And these were the few main reasons
Mm-hmm.
where why I decided to start a company. Then there is the matter of opportunity. At
Mm-hmm.
the same time, my co-founder Luca Maraski got was thinking of kind of doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
So and then it became concrete very fast, very quickly. Look, it's we have some announcements to make, so stay tuned. But I cannot disclose everything right now.
Yeah, sure.
But I look, it's kind of phenomenal what we have. We accelerated very quickly from literally nothing to having a company in a matter of a couple of months. So it's been an incredible ride,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm super grateful for the 8.5 years that I had with Nearphone. So it's been
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Awesome. Wow, that's a whole lot of motivation to do a company.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what does Platformatic do, and what we want to do?
Yeah.
What problem we want to solve? You know it yourself, Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
Backend development is still very hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
still compared to front end development and other fields. It did not have any. significant improvement in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
There won't be massive jumps in productivity, and I we are here to fix this and make sure that building backends for our web and mobile apps, or just web and mobile apps, is fun and require very little effort. So here we are.
Yeah, nice, nice. So I'm a very big fan of backend development, especially backend JavaScript. It's one of the reasons why I started Salescast, just out of the need of JavaScript is great, and the advantage of Node is we get to use a single language, a single very good language across the stack, front and back end.
Yep.
But for some reason, it's not that good, and we get to see that other languages, even though they can run on the front end, they have much more appeal than JavaScript on the back end because the resources, the tooling, is just not there. And I'm really
Yeah.
keen to want to see how Platformatic DB it's solving that, and it's really something of great interest to me. So yeah,
Uh,
do you think this is a good time for us to just get into it and you just introduce me, or do you want to talk
just
about it? Mm.
give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just give me a second. So I I recollected that I need to I recollected that I have
Mm-hmm.
installed the development branch, and I don't want it to explode on my face while we are while we are doing the stream. So I need to I switch it back to the main branch so
Mm-hmm.
that I at least it's done. Okay, so it's building. Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
I have an emerged fixed. Oh yeah, I have the latest data of my npm
Okay.
downloads.
Um,
So
should I share it
it's
now so we could
just
all
a second.
see that? Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, you can share. You can totally share now.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
you can totally
Oh.
share now.
Oh. Nice.
Okay, so I use this website called npm stat
Uh-huh.
to to do those things. And
Okay.
look, this is my download. The download numbers, like it's 60 million per day type of
Oh.
downloads,
Oh my God.
and it's it's close to 400 million a week, and it get to, yeah, you see, it's probably in 2022 I'm already 15 million.
Oh my.
So it's 15 billion downloads. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and some of the modules that I maintain have been like FastQ. This is really popular. They are created.
Yeah.
This is very tiny, and
Mm-hmm.
then there are Pino and other very tiny modules around.
Yeah.
So it's whoa, this one got really popular. I don't know who
Mm-hmm.
is using it. Cool. Yeah, essentially, it's there's a lot here. So you can Undici got super
English.
popular.
Yeah.
What is Undici? Is the new HTTP client for Node. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not using Undici, you should be using Undici.
Mm-hmm.
So let me open Undici up. You see, I have a very big screen. So
Yeah, I know.
and it's this is Undici. It's
Okay.
been growing very steeply week by week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's but it's basically what the Node core team think of a HTTP client,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be using it
Yeah,
essentially.
sure. Sure thing.
So okay, yeah. So that's the bit. So yeah, a lot of downloads,
Mm-hmm.
lots of
Yeah.
downloads. Like Fastify, it's popular, but it's not even near. It's not even near the top. And the small ones are the tiny utilities. The tiny utilities
Mm-hmm.
governs everything essentially.
Yeah, yeah, and it actually adheres to the old node philosophy where we have this small focused packages doing something and really doing
Yeah,
it well. And you
yeah,
you you have a bunch of those. I love it.
yeah. I have a bunch of those. So here we
Yeah.
go. Oh yeah, no, sorry, this is the one.
Okay.
I'm just going to move it back. Okay, here
Mm-hmm.
we go. So let's start on Platformatic. Okay, so you can use Platformatic issuing the PLT command, and you get a nice ASCII art, and there are multiple commands. So we have DB and service. We are going to do DB today,
Okay,
so we
so
can start. Yep.
I get the PLT CLI by installing globally
Oh, you
by
can
Node.
just npmi platformatic. So
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna.
I have it. I have it linked from my main repo. So, but
Oh, okay,
npmi platformatic.
okay.
So basically, you do this is PLT DB init,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, oh, that we need to install some dependencies.
Okay.
So I'm down. I'm just doing it npm init wipe. So I create a package JSON,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can go copy this dependency here.
Okay.
So I'm installing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
npm is still not fast. Okay, like it's
Yeah, I heard
is this
the
problem is not easy to solve. So
yeah.
and
I heard PNPM is faster. I don't know. I don't use it. I still use NPM CLI. So I don't
we
know.
use PMPM
Mm-hmm.
for the for platformatic, so
Mm-hmm.
it's all PMPM for what used for the development. But I wanted to use NPM. I typically use NPM for the demos so that people
Okay.
can
Okay. Cool. That's
see
fine.
what they have on the system. This is creating a bunch of stuff for us for free. Okay, like
Okay.
this is init command created a bunch of stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at what we have here. So what we have is a platformatic DB.json, and we have our server config, we have our core, which is the core of platformatic DB,
Okay.
and we have our migrations folder for migrating data, and then we have plugins. We'll talk about the plugins later on, and we have some more information about the types. People love their types, so even though this is a JavaScript project and there is an option to generate a TypeScript one,
Mm-hmm.
we create the types for you. We can create the type for you, so you can actually have a better time coding essentially with autocomplete. So
Yeah.
what does it? How does it work? Let's leave our editor open. First of all, what we do. One more thing. We are using SQLite here.
Okay.
It supports both SQLite, Postgres, and MySQL. So everything and MariaDB. So it works everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
let's do PLT DB migrate, and as you can see, it says that we have um, uh, 00. We are running a migration, and it
Mm-hmm.
says generated type for movie entity. What does this mean? Well, if we are refreshing, we got types and we got a movie type definition here. What does the migration did? Well, it created a table called create table if not exist movies, and then you can see it has a integer primary key and a title column.
Okay.
Very very simple. Now, what we can do is we can do a PLT DB start to start the system, okay?
Okay.
And then we can go to localhost 3042, and as you can see, this is started as very basic HTML page, and we have both OpenAPI and graphical. So you can get to, for example, graphical. You hope you like GraphQL. If you don't, you should
Mm-hmm.
like GraphQL. Just a second.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about your code. Yeah.
Okay, so now you can see that we have here um, we can have a mutation to save a movie. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's say save movie, save Star Wars, save Star. Well, let's say let's do the demo that I do usually. So let's
Mm-hmm.
do save Harry Potter. So let's save Harry Potter.
Yeah, I love
Harry
Harry Potter.
Yeah, everybody loves Harry Potter. So let's save Harry Potter, okay? And as
Yeah.
you can see, these return our data, okay? Now
Mm-hmm.
what we can do is we can query all movies, for example, and we got the movies, and then we want the title and the ID, and
Mm-hmm.
then we can run this, and it says movie title Harry Potter ID one. Okay, so we can query this as much as we want. For
Okay.
example, we can even says where. And we want title to equal, let's say, Star Wars. And if you like Star Wars and you
Mm-hmm.
want all the movies from the quote, all the movies from Star Wars, it's not getting anything because we haven't added them. But if
Okay.
you put Harry Potter here, this is going to work. So here we go. And as you can see, you get the data.
Okay.
Cool. There is a bunch of other queries and mutations that's been added. One more thing here. What
Okay.
we can do, it also supports subscriptions. So what you can do is, for example, open up subscription and says movie saved,
Mhm.
and we want the ID and the title. So whenever a movie is saved, we get the data and look at the spinner. This is running, and then if we want to save Star Wars, okay, and we do title Star Wars, and we run that mutation, we get the data here as the
Wow.
subscription. All of this is done via WebSockets, and
Oh,
you can get the data out of it very quickly.
nice.
So what's interesting here? We also have full OpenAPI docs,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see that we also have REST endpoints. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a slash movies being created, which we can run it, and you can see that there is an execute button, and we get this, and you see that there is both Harry Potter and Star Wars. There is also a nice curl command that you can take, which
Okay.
we will do and execute to show that it's actually the same data. Note that I
Nice.
didn't build the Swagger UI. The Swagger UI it's done by others. Okay, we just reuse what's available open source. So
Nice.
it's pretty cool, right? You can get all
Yeah.
these things for
So, uh,
these things created.
yeah. So, I am assuming that with Platformatic, you get a REST API that on top of it can sit a GraphQL API that you
Yeah,
could use. So the
yeah. They are
okay.
not one on top of each other. They are
Oh,
not
the
one on top of each
separate.
other. They are. You can just define one or the other. So
Oh,
they are separate.
okay.
So it's all based on the concept of fastify plugins.
Mm-hmm.
So reality is that you can have you can even use those same modules in your own fastify application if you want to.
Nice. Okay. So under the hood, Platformatic, the web framework is Fastify, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the other parts of it that makes up the
Oh,
Platformatic
let's
toolshed?
let's uh, uh, let
Mm-hmm.
me show. Let me go back to the screen and let's do some more coding. So,
Okay.
for example, we can create a new migration,
Mm-hmm.
and let's use Copilot. So create quotes table. Let's see if Copilot helps with me.
Oh, you have copilots in Vim. Oh my God,
Of
that's
course, I do have
good.
Copilot in Vim.
Oh,
Look, who do you think I am? It's
you.
NVim. It's NeoVim, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Uh,
cool. Good.
integer.
Nice.
Okay. So, okay. So we have our quotes, and then we need to have the movie ID,
Mm-hmm.
integer not null, references, movies ID. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Right. So we added our new migration, and then we can do PLT DB migrate,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that it generated a new quote entity.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you see, I have not restarted my server,
Mm-hmm.
but if I reload my graphical, you will see that now I also have all the quotes data available. So it's complete auto reloading things automatically.
Wow.
Um, Now we can do, say, for example, add Harry Potter quote,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can do saving our quote and say input, and we want the movie ID, which is one, and the quote, which is I solemnly swear
That I'm up to
I
no
am
good.
up to no good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then we can get the ID and the quote. Cool. And then we have added this. Now, in our movies, we can also get all the quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that it's getting. Oh yeah, quote. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, this is getting. You can get nested and so on and so forth very
Mm-hmm.
easily,
Mm-hmm.
and build your application in almost no time. Okay.
Nice.
But it's not just that. Okay, let's go back to our Vim. Now you can see that we both have our two entities. How are those used? So first of all, this is as you can see in platformatic db.json, you can
Mm-hmm.
see that we have a path to a plugin.js file. This is
Okay.
our plugin, and this is just a fastify plugin. For example, we can add an hello world endpoint at, let's call it hello here on our REST. This is just a REST route,
Mm-hmm.
and then what I can do is now call localhost 042 hello, and as you can see, the route has been loaded and executed automatically within our server, and I can see hello Calvin, and
Yeah.
I can, if I query it, it automatically reloads and works as I would expect. Okay,
Wow.
so other things that I can do here, for example, is do, for example, if I want all the movies,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can get app platformatic movie, oh, entities, then movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I can find them and I get them all, and I need to await this. Okay, and now you can see that if I move it, I do 0, it's an array, and I see I get the title. Okay, I automatically get the definitions from TypeScript, so all of
Yeah.
this is typed. So if I do console log movies, for example,
Yeah.
and I'm going back to my terminal where the service is there. You see it has restarted, files change, and this is the console that was printed.
Wow.
Let's add a new route. So let's say we want to add titles. So this contains all the titles in all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we can take this and we can return a movies map movie.title. Okay, and then if I go in my another terminal, I can call it, and you see that I got all the titles of all the movies.
Nice.
um, if we go to Swagger, you can see that we have the quotes, but we also have a low end titles here now.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
it's it's all self-documenting. You
Yeah.
can do more things here. So, for example, let's say that we want to do add the same endpoint titles for to our GraphQL. So basically, we want to extend the schema and say that we want all the titles
Mm-hmm.
in our query, and we this is a string, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can do that. Okay, I'm just extending. Hopefully, I get the syntax right. GraphQL define resolvers. Okay, query titles movies. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I coded it correctly.
Okay.
And now we are looking at our docs, and it's, yeah, no, I probably done some mistakes.
Let's see.
So let's see what the mistakes are.
Instant
Can
schema.
rate generate property of undefined. Oh yeah, it's a typo. You see, I haven't put it.
Yeah.
It's
GraphQL.
GraphQL.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's reload this up. So now I titles. You see, titles has appeared here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I can actually query all titles and get my titles. And if I run it, you will get the same result as the REST
Nice.
endpoint. So I can completely code my application based on, and I can customize all of it
Mm-hmm.
if I want to, which is super powerful. You see, because I can start prototyping and creating my API by using the automatic definitions,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly add more things there. Look, is if you don't want to do things in this way, you could, and if you have a more complex query to do, what you can do is you can get DB and SQL from a platformatic,
Mm-hmm.
and then instead we can get the title from movies, and then we can just run SQL, and these fully support like SQL injection protection. So you could say, for example, uh, uh, select title from movies where title like query.q. Okay, so title, let's put it, yeah, let's do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can do titles q every, and sorry,
Okay, from
no
periods.
match it found. Yeah, I made a mistake here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sorry about this. I need to put quotes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it says, oh yeah, I made a mistake here. So there
Let's
is
see.
sequel. There is a blah 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 blah. Yeah, probably we do that. Maybe. Anyway,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I get the
uh,
idea.
you get the idea. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So.
you can customize it completely, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And it all works. It all works well in the end.
Yeah.
So
So
uh,
I
yeah.
okay. Okay. So yeah. So I was thinking that with Platformatic you get a toolkit to quickly build APIs, right? Whether they're going
Yep.
to be consumed over REST or over GraphQL. So yeah, it's really nice. And the questions I have now is, first off, I see you doing something like app.platformatic.entities movies.find. What is that really? Like what? Yeah,
Okay.
what's
So
happening there? Mm-hmm.
let's go a little bit in the code and
Mm-hmm.
see how what does it look like. Okay.
Okay.
So as you can see here, so this is this module.export async function app is a Fastify plugin.
Okay.
Okay. So here you can see it's an instance of Fastify. You can
Mm-hmm.
see this thanks to these nice JS doc comments.
Okay.
We can actually have full type completion on this module
Okay.
without having to write TypeScript and have a big compilation step that will slow us down. Sorry, this is my opinion on TypeScript. I am more or less free farm person, not too
Me
strict for me.
me
Uh,
too.
so here you can define, so get hello is how you define a route in
Mm.
Fastify.
Okay.
Okay. Then what you have here, app platformatic and app GraphQL.
Mm-hmm.
So those two things are properties that have been decorated by Fastify plugin by some Fastify plugin
Okay.
in in our code in our app.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go a little bit. If you want to learn more about this stuff,
Yeah,
let's go
sure.
into Fastify. You can get these decorators, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and these explain more or less the reasoning behind it.
Okay. What's up here?
And basically it's you can decorate the request, you can decorate the server, and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. It provides a very basic dependency injection mechanism, if you want
Okay.
to call it that way,
Okay.
so that you could reuse structure your system and reuse your code within multiple applications, essentially.
Okay. Cool. That's nice.
Like
That's cool.
normally you don't do these kind of things in a lot of React based application. You
Mm-hmm.
just export global modules and stuff like
Okay.
that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, on a express application very often you export a global module, so you have a lot of singletons, then you will need to do a lot of mocking for testing and things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay.
And while with this you don't need to, you just yeah, you can just use the decorator values and so on and so forth.
Nice. So can we go back to the code again?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So so I'm looking at the value like how Platformatic DB gets to be positioned with existing solutions out there, for example. So for one, I see your migrations are just SQL files.
You can also put some JavaScript in there.
Okay. So yeah.
It
So
uses
mm-hmm,
under the hood.
mm-hmm.
It uses this library. It's called Postgrator.
Okay. Let's go there. Let's see what that is.
Yeah, let me load it up. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, it's
Postgrader.
Postgrator. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
you can just use, for example, something like
Mm-hmm.
this.
Oh, cool, cool. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Yes. So we have a server in Fastify. We have like data being handled with your migrations using Postgre, and we have GraphQL and REST auto generated for us.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. So quickly, how do we get this onto like out there into the internet? So, like, how do we deploy something like this?
Ha! This
Yeah.
is. I'm
Mm-hmm,
glad
mm-hmm.
you asked. I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked. So what there is, if you go to our website called
Mm-hmm.
oss.platformatic.db, this is where all our documentation lives.
Okay.
Okay, and here you can go to guides,
Mm-hmm.
and there is to go to deployment,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go deploy to fly.io with SQLite,
Okay.
and it will guide you in deploying this on Fly, which has a really good free tier, so you can
Okay.
try it at home. And yeah, it will just work, and you can even look at it about doing some more debugging and stuff. It's great. Like you can just try it out right now.
Yeah, sure. So my host of choice is render, and I think there should be some
Ah, you can
similar.
do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Then that's definitely going to try that out. Yeah. So I could reach out for Platformatic DB and get myself a REST API or a GraphQL API
yeah.
out there and just start using it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
there is also some support for authentication and authorization and authentication.
Oh, that's some
So
good
you
stuff.
could, it's a lot, but that's why that's more than an hour to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
So
sure, sure. I think
it's
we'll get into the
and we
docs
are
from there.
planning to do even more on this front soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
there's a
I
lot.
okay. I see a Platformatic DB dashboard. Wow, that's yeah.
Yeah,
Your team is working on a lot of cool stuff. I
Oh yeah,
like.
but like the dashboard was
Mm-hmm.
mostly was basically like we half developed it at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
then we had to release, so it was cut short, and
Okay.
then it was more or less the actually open source word like prompted us to finish it essentially.
Okay.
So
Uh,
basically, people contributing gave us our final push to get there. So
okay. Okay. Good.
like
Good.
I can let me see if I can enable it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you want to enable it, you just do dashboard
Mm-hmm.
and says true,
Okay. That's what's
and
true.
then you go to localhost
Mm-hmm.
3042, and now it's been loading the dashboard,
Mm-hmm. Wow. Look at that.
and you have all those bits, and yeah, no, it's and then you have, for example, the table view, so you can
Oh.
see that you can see all the data. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty.
Nice.
This
This.
was completely sent by the. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This was Siri that understood, thought that she was talking. And
Okay.
anyway, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that there is the table view and stuff too. So
Yeah. That's
and
yeah.
yeah,
That's a whole suite of good tools. So I think anyone who wants to build a Node.js backend could definitely reach
yep,
for Platformatic, and you've done a lot of heavy lifting. For example, with the GraphQL stuff and the REST API and the documentations and authorizations and a bunch of stuff we can't go through today, but definitely the docs are there for us to get through. Yeah, yeah. So
yay.
anything else you want to share before we leave the code screen and just
Uh,
chat a bit?
we have a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. If you, we are going to announce something new in the coming weeks. So
Oh,
yeah, we are
any
unveiling.
teasers?
Nope, no,
Not
no
teasers.
teasers. Sorry,
Not
Kevin.
teasers. It's fine.
It's
It's fine. I'll wait like everyone else.
you'll wait everybody
Uh,
like everybody else, and all your watchers will wait like everybody else.
yeah,
Essentially,
sure,
we're going to
sure.
announce, and we'll ship something new, and you will be able to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we'll ping you. So next time I will come and do the demo
Yeah,
of the new thing. Okay, with you. So
amazing.
it's,
Yeah,
if you want to have me.
yeah, definitely.
So
What? Definitely. I block
yeah,
out anytime you want for you to come show me that new thing. All right. Yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely. So
yeah, sure. So let's. Thank you so much. I think I understand the because for me, Platformatic just feels modern. The modern way to build a REST GraphQL API in Node based on a lot of awesome foundation tools like Fastify
yeah,
and um, and and the DB itself. Like you just get
yeah,
a lot out of the box. So it's exciting. I think I would definitely going to play with it and just trying to build something. Of course, because I'm trying to migrate salesguys.com from just talking about sales, but anything Node and backend JavaScript. So I'm going to look how to see if I can write an article or two, do maybe like some tutorials on YouTube, but anything. I'm just going to read more on the docs and see how I can teach Platformatic from here on out because I think it's a really good tool to have under your tool belt. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, I will share as soon as I have something. So, yeah, thank you, Mateo, for your time. I really appreciate it coming to show me Platformatic DB. Do you have any like final words for the viewers out there before we sign out?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. If you want to try our tools,
Mm-hmm.
we are big fan of Discord. So we have a Discord server
Okay.
where we give support.
Mm-hmm.
So please come and yeah, it's please come and join and ask all your questions, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody from me or my team will answer very quickly. So
Yeah,
thank
sure
you very much.
thing. So yeah, so if they want to reach Mateo himself, where can you find you online? Twitter, somewhere else, you know?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
at Matteo Collina.
Okay.
That's my handle.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is my newsletter, nodeland.dev,
I'll share that
and
too.
I am on Fastodon. Of the, if you have removed yourself from Twitter or whatever, you'll find me on Fastodon too.
Okay.
On Mastodon too at the Fastodon server. At
Okay.
I am M Collina
Okay.
on that instance. So yay,
Yeah, thank
here I am.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mateo, once again. And yeah, we are signing out for this TKYT session. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Calvin. Bye.